Weiss, who's going to be talking about our 5th trend, sexual harassment and Me Too at work.
Hi everyone. Let me introduce you to Mike, a coaching client who has a successful startup. He's a visionary thinker with a knack for disruptive innovation, and he wants to be more inspirational. And I just learned that he won't have dinner alone with any of the women on his team because he's worried about litigation. And this is Jill, one of 3 candidates for a CEO role. The other 2 are men. In-depth assessments showed that she's the most qualified, but the all-male board thought that they took it too easy on her during her interviews. And one leader had one comment that she should have worn lipstick. Now, I don't specialize in gender or diversity, but it's really important in my work to know about intersectionality. Understanding power and intersections of race and gender and other differences really helps me help my clients when it comes to competitiveness and improving performance. And IO researchers are doing great work in these areas, and Kizzy's going to touch on some of this too. But because of this research, I'm able to coach Mike that he's not only at risk of trading a potential sexual harassment complaint for a sex discrimination complaint, but he's actually more likely to be harassed by another man than he is to have a false complaint against him. And I can teach him about allyship, and perhaps even tell him that I wouldn't have the role I have today if it weren't for my own boss and mentor not living up to such rules himself. As for Jill, I could have told the board that research shows that women are actually given a tougher time during interviews, are more likely to be interrupted, face more follow-up questions, and are more negatively evaluated than equally qualified men. I could have told them about a study that found if there's only one woman in your candidate pool, there's almost no chance she'll be hired. But Jill withdrew before I had a chance. She felt she couldn't be successful, even if she was hired. So people in IO are doing great work around workplace harassment, discrimination, and intersectional power. In fact, on the table outside, I have a list of suggested resources for those of you who are interested. But if we're the experts, why aren't we out front leading? In 2006, Tarana Burke coined the phrase Me Too. In October 2017, it went viral and started worldwide conversations about harassment, assault, and gender discrimination. Time's Up was soon launched to address harassment and workplace inequality. And throughout the fall and winter of 2017, many organizations, including SHRM and APA, shared information and recommendations, but there was nothing coming from SIOP. It wasn't until January 2018 that our first article was published. So why weren't we leading the way? We could have helped more people in organizations because of our expertise, but we can't really lead the way if we're not role modeling those behaviors and practices ourselves. This is a new slide I added. This week, the new APA journal shows that we've got some real issues within our own field that need to be addressed. How about we apply some of our own best practices within? So change of this nature needs to be championed and sponsored from the top down. We need a diversity and inclusion leader on our executive board, just like any other organization who really wants to make changes in these areas. We also need to incorporate these things into our strategic goals and our values and our vision. And SIOP needs a zero tolerance policy. Right now, what we have is a long set of general guidelines about professional behavior. And it actually says that if there's a problem, ideally, you handle it yourself first. And that's not okay. So education around a new policy, as well as expectations and recommendations for bystander intervention, should be communicated before and after our conferences. This is especially important when drinking and parties are an important part of networking. Also, people in IO love data. We can do a lot better, though, when it comes to measuring, tracking, and making changes related to diversity and inclusion. Great models provided by our cousins over at the Division of Personality and Social Psychology. Right now, they're currently conducting a 2-part climate survey to promote diversity and inclusivity, as well as to prevent and respond to sexual harassment and discrimination. And to really know what's going on in our community and to know what to do about it, we have to measure. And also, while there have been improvements in a lot of areas, we need more representativeness when it comes to workshop presenters, LEC presenters, award winners, fellows, invited speakers. Somehow we haven't caught up with the rest of the world in disparaging mostly male and mostly white panels. Many global leaders have been signing panel pledges, saying that they won't take part in conferences if there isn't thoughtful representation. So we don't need to sign pledges, but it should be standard best practice to be looking for gender balance and diversity of all kinds. So as we put our own house in order, we can better lead the way for others. And just like any other organization, improving our diversity and inclusion will make us more competitive, innovative, relevant, and healthy in the long term. Thank you.